Hi everyone, just in a quick video I want to talk about who I consider to be the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. I know a lot of the time people do 10, they sort of go for who they think is the top 10. For me to do a top 10, I can do it. However, I would rather sort of take more time to study some of these heavyweight champions. I would rather just do 5 for now. I'll tell you who I think are my top 5. So top 5, let me just sort of throw a few of the big names out there before I tell you who I think top 5 are. You have people like George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston. Could you say the Klitschko's? I will probably say not. You know, they do not really have the... I mean, they are very good. However, if I had to go for top 5, I am actually going to do it in reverse order. So, in terms of who I think is the #1 heavyweight champion of all time, I would have to go for Muhammad Ali. He beat the best competition. He fought for the lot. You know, he was around boxing for pretty much almost 20 years as a professional boxer. He turned professional in 1960, and then 1960. He retired about 1980 or 81, that sort of time. The last fight he had was that loss against Trevor Berbick. But you know, listen, in between, Ali fought some great competition. He beat people like George Foreman. He beat Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson, you know, and a lot of these guys, he beat them when they were, you know, he beat them when they were on strong winning streaks. I mean, the George Foreman win, I mean, that is arguably one of the greatest wins of all time in boxing, perhaps the #1. For me, if there is any boxing fight in history I would love to have been ringside for, it is without question the Foreman fight. However, yeah, so what else would I say? So Ali, you know, best heavyweight champion of all time, fastest hands, fastest feet, great skill set. He never really went to the body. He never really had the best defense. His defense was based on pure reflex. So he used to sort of just dodge away from shots. He used to lean back, which is very tricky, very difficult to do, very risky. However, he made it work. So #1, I would go for Muhammad Ali. #2, I would go for Joe Louis. You know, he beat some great competition as well. He had all those title defenses. He beat people like Max Baer, James J. Braddock. He beat Max Schmeling in that famous rematch. He lost the first fight. But Joe Louis was a very intelligent fighter. I mean, if he fought you once, he would always do better in the rematch. I mean, take for example what he did to Max Schmeling. Lost to him the first fight, got knocked out by Max Schmeling, and then he knocked Max Schmeling out in 1 round in the rematch. Who else? And oh yeah, there was that fight with Tony Galento. Joe Louis at #2. 3rd place, probably have to go for... It's difficult to pick between Larry Holmes and George Foreman. I am actually going to go for George Foreman because he had the better legacy. Larry Holmes may or may not have beaten him. It is a questionable, difficult fight to say. I am going to go for George Foreman at 3rd place. I mean, to do what he did, to win the heavyweight title again after all those years. And you know, he beat some good fighters along the way. I mean, I remember that famous fight he had with Ron Lyle, in which they kept knocking each other down. Obviously, when he knocked out Joe Frazier, when he knocked out Ken Norton, when he fought Muhammad Ali, you know, these are all very good fights. George Foreman at 3rd place. 4th place, I would go for Larry Holmes. Very skillful fighter. You know, great jab. He had some good wins. You know, he never really had that one. I mean, he beat people like Ernie Shavers, who was a very good fighter, one of the hardest punching heavyweights of all time. But to me, he never really had that legacy fight. I could be wrong. If anybody disagrees, let me know. He should have beaten Michael Spinks, but you know, things happen, I suppose. #5, I would probably go for Lennox Lewis. You know, very dominant fighter. He beat everybody here before. He lost twice, got knocked out twice. He came back in rematches to knock those 2 out. He knocked out Hashim Rahman and Oliver McCall. You know, it takes a great champion to do that. So I wish Lennox Lewis all the best. So yeah, those are just my quick top 5. But last thing I'm going to say now, I am going to go to America in January, go to Vegas, go to LA, start doing a lot of videos, and yeah, start. Anyway, just been training. I am going to go sparring today, so I am going to try and upload some sparring footage either today, tomorrow, or Sunday. So Anyway, take care everyone, let me know what you think. Who do you think are the greatest heavyweight champions of all time? Take care, goodbye.